Hey guys, what's going on? This is Unexceptional Rounder, and this is Squeeze Play, the poker show, and that is Shark Slayer calling in. I thought he was going to be late, but it looks like he's here right on time, which is awesome. Shark, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Thank you. It's been a crazy day.
Yeah, great. All right. Awesome. Let me go ahead and get your turn your video on so that this awesome thumbnail that you have isn't what the viewers see. Why don't you go ahead and get your video going?
Oh yeah.
There we go. Oh, all right. Nice. Shark's all dressed up for the show. I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually check this queen back. Yeah, I'm gonna check call here. He could have, this 8 could help him. He could have had some draws here. I'm actually pretty worried about the 8 now. I think an 8 was a big part of his range when he called the flop and then checked down. I am going to call though because a lot of draws missed. So he does have the 8. Not a big deal. That's a small part of his range and enough draws missed that I think we can profitably call there. So not a big deal. All right, so Shark's video is going here. Let me see if.
Can you share your screen?
The whole yeah, I will shortly. So
I apologize.
No big deal. No big deal.
You know how car dealerships can get, man.
Oh yeah. That is that's true. Let me try and I'm not sure.
The crazy thing is when I go to a car dealership, I am going to buy a car. You know. It's not hard to sell me a car.
Yeah,
it's still like a 6-hour process.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I go there and I'm like, sell me a car. I want you to sell me a car. And still, it's sometimes kind of tricky to actually get one.
Yeah, no, you think it'd be easy to sell a car.
Let me go ahead. I'm not sure why this is being difficult. Oh, there it is. I don't know why. It's being a little difficult, but here we go.
Well,
it's not really ideal for what I wanted for your video. So let me try. Let me try one last thing.
How long have you been running for? Just like a few seconds?
Yeah, I mean, I literally just finished the intro. Boom, that'll work. All right, so this guy is calling us a ton, and I don't like it. There we go.
On what table? Table 1?
Yeah, table 1 over here on the left. He just
roll off or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's just been calling us down a lot. Looks like we're gonna win this one with ace high though, so that's good. So as you guys know, today we are doing the. I've got a giveaway for a Mophie a phone case. Looks just like the one that's on my phone right here. It's a battery pack kind of thing. So if you click this button on the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see, but those light up. So cool, yay! Those light up, and that just shows how much is left in the battery pack. It's pretty cool. You essentially here, if you guys can hear this, I'm gonna turn the charging function on. Oh, it's on vibrate. Hold on. That's not as exciting. Alright, so it's now charging the phone, so you can actually decide when you want it to charge and when you don't. That way it's not like just always charging when you have, this thing's got its own plug that, wow, that was going to be loud. It's got its own plug that it comes with and everything else, so, protective case, phone's fine. But yeah, should be good. So if you guys want me to send you one, I'll send it anywhere in the world, and you just have to. What I'll do here is in a minute. I gotta raise this guy up. Hold on. He's been limping the small blind. He folded last time I did this, so we'll go ahead and just try to get him to fold again. So you guys noticed I added a bunch of stats to my HUD. When I play, I don't have all the little abbreviations on there, but I figured even though it looks a little bit cluttered, I'd throw the abbreviations up so you guys could tell what all my stats were. We'll go through them a little bit later in the show once a few more people have gotten on. But for right now, what I'll do is I'll make a post on Facebook with I had an idea. I forget exactly what it was, but it was I was gonna make a survey. You had to answer the survey and then leave a comment. But I don't know. I'll think of something during the show, and then towards the end of the show, we'll go ahead and use a like a random number generator to pick someone.
Oops. Sorry. Did you have the screen up so I can see what you're playing, or?
Oh, yeah. Hold on just a second. Also, guys, just double check the volume, or actually, Shark, if you can jump in the chat and make sure the volume's okay with both of us, that we're relatively equal and everything's good. All right, so I got the random number generator. Let me, before Shark gets really upset, let me go ahead and share. Oops, you know what? That's not. Shoot.
The screen. That'd be ideal.
Yeah.
Rello, how's the audio out there? Can you hear both me and you are unexceptional rounder, and how are the volumes for both of us? I appreciate that.
And yeah, Rello just did a leak finder for Rello, so I thought it went really well. I'm glad I did the whole video, because the best hand was at the very end of the second video. It ended up being a 2-part video, and there was a really interesting hand at the end. So if you guys haven't seen that, which a good chance you haven't since I just put it up, then definitely check that out, because it was actually really interesting. I broke down the ranges a little bit, and we went into it, and I decided that I thought, well, you know what, just go watch the video. I don't want to spoil it.
You still gotta do my leak finder video that I sent you.
Yeah, actually that timed out, so go ahead and c-bet here. I'll make it half pot. This guy, a half pot bet, pretty much threatens this guy's whole stack, so we should get a pretty honest response from him with our gut shot on the right-hand table. And we hit an ace here, so we'll definitely, we want a continuation bet and get value here. We expect calls from a lot of queens. There's a lot of queens in his range, so I think worse hands can definitely call here, and then we'll usually check a lot of turns, and that should get us some more action. If we check back here, we should get a lot of action, and there aren't really that many cards we're worried about. So we'll go ahead and check back the flop, and then we'll bet the turn for value. Try to get a queen to call if it looks like we're trying to steal. So I'll make kind of a bigger bet here. I'll go ahead and make a 60-cent bet almost, and hopefully get looked up by a queen. That's our main goal here. And then we do hit a draw here, so we'll check that back. So I think he had a queen. He, she, queen, king. All right. So
why is it that I'm louder?
Huh?
Doesn't matter how many times we change the volume settings. Everyone always seems to have a common conception that I'm louder.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bump it down one little peg over on XSplit, and then you guys let me know if it sounds good. Right now, the volume should be a little bit different. So I actually just looked at those comments in the videos. Which one are you referring to, Rello? Because I haven't responded to my the video comments in a little bit. I kind of try to do it all at once, but so I haven't responded to the comments in the videos I just put up recently, but I have looked at most of them.
Anyway, where I was is I just bought a brand new car today. Actually, I leased it. I think I'm never going to buy another car again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think I'm done buying cars. I'm just going to lease them from now on.
Well, when you get new cars as often as you do, that might not be a bad idea.
Well, also, because I bought my car, my BMW, and someone hit it the first couple months I had it, and it's on the Carfax, and that just killed the value of it,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't even my fault. Someone just ran into me and just destroyed the value. So now if I lease a car, someone runs into me, who gives a shit about the value? It's not my car.
There you go.
At least that's the the idea. It's a plan at least. So I just got a Range Rover Evoque. I thought they looked cool. Anyone has any other opinion on them, keep it to themselves. No, I'm just kidding. Like, let me know what you think about them, but I think they're pretty cool. You know, they seem to compete with the regular Range Rover Sports and stuff. So, unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to get a lot of hands lately. I just took the GMATs again, rocked those, and been applying for schools and stuff. So,
yeah, that second GMAT sounds like that one a lot better. That's good.
Yeah, anyone who's taking the GMATs out there, you know, first time I took it, I got a 580, and I studied pretty hard, and I was pretty upset. Second time, I didn't study at all. I didn't put any one extra day, one day of studying in. Went in there and got a 700. So I don't know, maybe just don't study.
It's good, solid advice. So yeah, so I don't know if I've mentioned it. I think I mentioned it in one of my recent videos, but I really went through and I changed up some of my opening hand ranges. And let's see, we'll fold this. This person's not really stealing a lot so far. So I really looked at, you know, a lot of people were saying, you play real tight, you play real tight. I thought I was playing relatively tight, but not, you know, crazy tight. So I went and did a little bit more research and found some, you know, other hand ranges, some other people's ideas, and I realized that I was actually playing pretty tight. So I went ahead and kind of, you know, borrowed a little bit, but went in and made some new hand ranges that are quite a bit looser than the ones I had before, and I'm gonna post those on my website. I'll do just a blog post on the website and put those out there, and then it'll also be in a video coming up where I just talk about them a little bit and the new opening ranges. My next few classroom videos are gonna really be on breaking down a lot of pre-flop play, just all sorts of between calling, pre-flop, opening ranges, pre-flop, 3-betting, just all sorts of you know, different pre-flop stuff essentially. So that should be pretty good. I don't know whether a bet or a check here is correct. I think he folds a lot, but I'm essentially turning my nines into a bluff by betting. Which I think is okay. I'll just go ahead and bet. I guess technically I could be getting some value out of like his hands with one club, like ace, you know, something offsuit with the ace of clubs. I'm getting a little bit of value from that, but it's probably not a really great spot, and that's not a very good card either. So we'll go ahead and check this down. What'd you have, Shark?
I was gonna say it's just a semi bluff. And that's a terrible card, so just fold. Don't even check.
Yeah, so we actually we did manage to get value on the flop. He did have a pair of sevens with one club, so I guess that makes sense, and I think that's okay. I also made my bet sizes a little bit smaller. Instead of opening 4x under the gun, I changed it to a pot size bet under the gun, and then, you know, half a blind less each spot around you go. And there's some discussion in one of the videos I put out about min raising on the button, and there were some questions about it, but I explained it in a recent video, and essentially it gives you really good odds on your steal, and then it also helps defend against people who are 3-betting a lot. If you're min raising and then they make a pot size 3-bet, the stacks are still pretty deep if you call, and now you're calling in position, so you can play, you know, your 3-bet pots in position, and you know, that's going to work out quite a bit better than playing some huge 3-bet pot or having to fold all the time.
It's when I was trying to I watched some of your videos and read some of the information about, you know, betting lighter on the button, and it's a lot harder than it looks, just because as you go around, you know, you always just kind of you bet pot, or, you know, you kind of get into like a standard opening, you know, range, and then trying to go back and basically make and just every time you hit the button, just remember to do, you know, a mid raise or just an 8-cent raise, you know.
Yeah.
It's harder than it looks. I don't know. I have to like burn it into my brain apparently.
Well, it's a good mental exercise to make sure you're staying focused. And one of the new things that I'm also doing is I'm actually folding a few pocket pairs under the gun, which is now I was opening all pocket pairs, and now I'm folding 2s through 4s at a normal table. If there's some sort of huge fish, I might still open it. I mean, having this guy in the big blind, he looks pretty fishy. Maybe it might have made that a good open. I don't expect him to fold, but he's also only a half stack. So yeah, but what I found is that I'm not making a ton of money with those hands under the gun, and they're, most of the time you're turning it into a bluff. Your under the gun range is already very strong, so it's tough to make a lot of money with those types of hands under the gun. I don't know. That's what I've kind of experienced. Is it's been difficult. You end up, I mean, against any two cards, the best you can be is pretty much a coin toss. So it's just not a great situation all the time with those very, very small pocket pairs. So instead, I've kind of added a few suited aces into that under the gun range, and some other suited connectors. So I added some other hands where I took a few pocket pairs away. So we'll see how that all ends up working out. But that's sort of what I've done so far.
So here's a question. So basically, when you enter in, a pot with those small pocket pairs, you're gonna get your money basically when hitting your set. And let's say, like, if you have a lot of people who are very deep to act, would you go ahead and limp and possibly limp in? Try to get a limp pot or limp call, or just go ahead and make a bet and then hope you get called down because you have those implied odds of those deep stacks behind to act.
I wouldn't limp in. No, I wouldn't limp in. If I was going to enter the pot, I would raise.
Okay, but you definitely take consideration of deep stacks, left to act behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they were, passive players, left to act. Another thing that I've done with my stats is, I've got their post flop aggression up here, and that's really important because you'll actually see a lot of players that play passive pre-flop, but then kind of aggressive post flop. Let's see this is kind of an aggressive. This guy's 43-4. I mean, it's only 50 hands, so we can't really be sure that these stats are correct. But over 50 hands, this player is playing 43-4, which means he's very passive pre-flop. But then his aggression percentage is kind of standard. Sort of 32%. That's kind of average aggression. He kind of plays a little bit more normal post flop, it looks like. So it's not enough hands to know for sure, but if you look at this guy who's 25-22, he's playing, his aggression post flop is 40%. So he's slightly more aggressive, but you would expect somebody who's 44-4 to be much less aggressive than somebody who's 25-22. And that's just not always the case. So it's important to know that those are different. So this is one cutoff 8-10-8 suited. Yeah, so that's actually an open for me now, which it wouldn't have been before. So much looser than before. And this guy is only folding like half the time. Looks like he lost half a stack. I didn't even see where or how this happened, but we got a call in the big blind. This is actually a decent pot. There's a lot of cards that we can bet the turn here, and we do have backdoor. We have overcards. We have backdoor flush possibilities. That king's a great card to bet, so we'll definitely go ahead and bet here as a double barrel, and then we may bomb some rivers also, depending on what comes. So yeah, anytime first thing I notice about when I'm playing is I'm on the button, and because I vary my bet sizes by each position, it's pretty easy for me to remember, because every single time I get a hand, I have to remember. And so now the question becomes, do we check down, or do we try and get some value from his ace threes, ace fours, his 5s, 6s, 7s? I don't think he has a king. I don't think he has 9s or 10s. So it's really a question of what can we get value from versus what just we should check back. So I'm going to go ahead and fire out a bet here, half pot, and see if we can get called by like ace 4, ace 3, and maybe like some 5s or 6s. I would expect folds a lot of the time here. Getting raised would be kind of annoying, but I think we can just fold, and we'll see if we can get a call by something weak. And he ends up folding, which is fine, but it's generally good. I mean, we're last to act. We know he has got a weak range because that's just, you know, he's got a weak range by the time we get to the river there, and so we can go for some thin value when we hit that 8 on the river. And there's also some value in him not knowing that we bet 3 streets with 8-10. Like, you know, there's something to be said for keeping our image at the table and having him fold there. You know, when he folds, people can just be like, I probably had, you know, aces or ace-king. Not a big deal. But if he calls there with his ace-4 and people see that we double-barreled 8-10, you know, that's kind of, there's something to be said there for our image, our table image. So I'm going to check down these 2s. That ace, you know, is a good bet card, but we're in the worst relative position, so I've got to play a little bit more passively, a little bit more conservative. And, you know, who knows? We could get to showdown here. I wouldn't expect to win many times at showdown, but certainly worth a shot. I think somebody's going to have a 7 or a 9 or something most of the time. Boom. 2s take it down. Not bad.
Very nice.
So what kind of car is it that you got?
It's a Range Rover Evoque. It's
And Range Rovers, those are pretty expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, you know you're paying way too much for a payment when a Range Rover cuts your payment in thirds. You should have seen my payment before this one. Cool.
So
basically, I bought a Range Rover to save money. I leased it. It's a lease, you know. But
I was thinking about 3-betting that Jack 8, but I decided to let one go. I will be 3-betting this guy a lot because he's stealing a lot, but I want to have some like suited cards, something decent that if he does call my 3-bet, I can play post flop. Here I've got a tight guy opening, raising a limper, and then a kind of tag laggish player calling. Might be an interesting spot for like a squeeze, but I'll go ahead and let it go. I think flush draw usually has a pretty strong hand here, and this time with ace-10, it's a pretty good spot to 3-bet. So I will go. Also, I've increased the size of my 3-bets. I'm just potting my 3-bets now. So 1, that's nice because it's way easier, and then 2, it's just more fold equity. You know, bigger 3-bets make it much less lucrative for people to call. So even out of position, you can make it a little bit bigger than pot. In position, pot size 3-bets are good. So that's kind of good because I wasn't really sure about my bet sizing, so I did a little research on it, and that's kind of what I came up with, is that sort of that's what's acceptable right now. And it made sense. I mean, it's sort of a math thing. You want to have a little bit more fold equity.
Kind of well, first let me go back to another point. I just remember what I wanted to say before. We were talking about K Mills with his VP of 40 and pre-flop of 4, but his aggressive post-flop. Mm-hmm. Basically, these people, I like to classify these people as gamblers. You know, they limp in like every freaking pot. They call every pot. When they hit a hand, they get aggressive. So they only like to bet when they have a hand. So if they're betting into you, then it's pretty safe to say that they hit something. That's kind of how I like to classify them.
Right.
And go ahead. What were you saying on that?
Well, yeah, and also what I would say, and this is a real tough spot, like 3-betting or calling with ace-jack. I'm going to go ahead and call here. It's not very strong. Like, I don't really like calling. It's kind of a weird spot, but we've got a player kind of in middle position. And this is a flop that I'm just going to play slow. I'm just going to kind of try to get to showdown here. I don't want to build a huge pot because I've got, you know, top pair, a decent kicker on a really connected board. However, nobody bet, which is interesting. I'm going to check once, hope for a safe card. 8's actually a pretty decent card, and then we'll try and go ahead and get to showdown here. Because one thing I've been noticing is I haven't been doing great with top pair hands and 1-pair hands, and I think part of the reason maybe I've just been a little bit too aggressive with them. And so, okay, so that was actually a pretty good spot to play slow. All right, and a good note we can take here. And I think calling down on the river is fine. Calling the turn and calling the river is fine. That pot stayed very small. It was 3 ways. exercise pot control, and therefore we kind of lost a very small amount of money when we hit top pair with a decent kicker. And what I'll take for a note here is that I'm gonna go ahead and throw a note in here, just that that this player checked back, missed their C-bet when they hit, two pair. So, and I'll pull that off.
One thing I like to know is, like, if you're playing 4-1L, use betting to your advantage. I know, like you said, like you made your 3-bets a little bigger, but that's only going to work if people are noticing. At 4-1L, there are people who are noticed, there are people who are good, but not many notice. So feel free, like if you have a bigger hand, 3-bet bigger. If you have a smaller hand, you can 3-bet a little lighter, just kind of save you that money. Like, just because I don't think at 4-0 people are that observant about pot sizes. About bet sizes. I know that I study, and even me, I'm not that observant about betting sizes. So I think it's more of an advanced thing for like the higher levels. But obviously, if someone's a good player, then you want to kind of go back into like the normal roles. But C-bet lighter, C-bet heavier. Chances are no one's going to notice. So at 4-0. I don't know if you want to comment on that or what you think about that. Or
yeah, no, that's definitely true. When you've got a decent sized hand, and this guy is like really fishy, but kind of annoying to have on my left. I don't have any real equity in this pot. I've got ace high. I'm gonna let it go, but this player's definitely like floating a lot, doing a lot of kind of weird stuff post flop, and the way that you want to play against people like that is you just want to, you got to stay aggressive to some extent, and wait for them to kind of make a mistake. You kind of play your game, and then they're going to make a mistake, and you're going to be there to capitalize on that mistake, whether it's they're going to call when you've actually got a hand, or your aggression is going to cause them to whether they fold too much or call too much. You just kind of need to figure out what their mistake is post flop. And this player's clearly calling a lot of flops. So what we'll do is, to adjust, we'll kind of maybe start checking back some flops, and we'll bet our flops when we have a hand, and just make a small adjustment that the player won't actually notice, but will cause the situation to completely change without them knowing. All of a sudden, they'll think they're calling light or being tricky or defending against our aggression, and they won't be. They'll just be calling with worse hands, and it'll be pretty straightforward. But it's an annoying player to have on our left. I'm not gonna move tables for it, but it is what it is. The other thing I've kind of been trying to do is not trying to do, but just sort of playing less tables, focusing on each individual play, trying to sort of, you can only break down the hand so much while it's going on, but trying to, break it down as much as possible, during each hand. So here's a spot where we've got, the kind of tight under the gun limper and then the button limps. Here, I'll just sort of complete my small blind. And here, this player min raises. I'm not really sure what that's about, but I'll go ahead and 3-bet, and we'll see how this player reacts to a 3-bet. And we get called out of the blind. One thing I probably should have done before 3-betting that I didn't just do was, look to my left and actually see that, I do have this guy and this guy, but I am going to have position on both them. And this Jack 2-2 is just a really dry board. I'm going to go ahead and pot this. We've got an open-ended draw, and nobody seems to like their hand. So I'm going to go ahead and just bet half pot, see if I can get these guys to fold. I do have some outs. I have some, cards I can bet on the turn. I did 3-bet, so I can represent like ace-jack. I can represent jacks. I can represent queens, kings, aces. So a bet's pretty, believable here for a made hand, and they can only call with pretty much their jacks. So there are some jacks in their ranges, but the number of hands that hit that board that they have to the number of hands that they don't have is just massive. So it makes a bet, pretty profitable, I think, most of the time there.
Just to answer some questions in the chat.
Yeah, what do we got? Why don't you, if you could read those off to me, we can get at them.
Kirby Tip Hop wants to know where you are on the challenge. I think you should tell the interesting story about when we were playing together.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Absolute maniac, which was probably some of the funnest times I've ever had. Like watching poker is awesome.
I mean, for some reason I just didn't fire up. I didn't just record my screen. I kind of regret it because it was really interesting. But we had a player that was playing. He was playing a little loose. He was playing, I think, 96.50.
No. When we first showed up, this guy is like $25 deep.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So
and he's playing 100%. VP of 100%.
Yeah.
And remember at the end he kind of got to 96. He kind of tightened up. He tightened up a lot,
Yeah.
To 96.
So he was playing essentially every single one of his hands, and he was raising actually quite a few of them. So he was playing pretty aggressively. This guy's been 3-betting about 14%, but we only have 25 hands. Jack Queen isn't a great hand to 4-bet light because I would rather 4-bet light with Ace-6 offsuit than Jack Queen, because then I'd have, there'd be a good chance he doesn't have an ace. Jacks and queens aren't as big a part of his range to be 3-betting. There aren't as many combinations of those. So me having a jack and a queen makes it more likely for him to have kings and aces. So that makes me kind of want to fold. And I wonder if Jack 10 offsuit is a open from... No, Jack 10 offsuit I've got cut off. And the other thing is these ranges that I've got on the new lighter ranges that I'm opening with are the default. Once you kind of have the table established, once you have some information, you're going to vary from those quite a bit. So it's it's a good starting point. It's something to look at, but very quickly you need to adjust. So right here, middle position, because this guy to our left is sitting out. 8-10 suited is not going to make it, but 10-9 suited is actually like an under-the-gun open for me now. So I really need to actually pay attention and make sure that I'm not just folding hands that I normally would have. So, yeah. But as far as the challenge goes, right now it looks like I'm... I don't know. It looks like I'm up like $25 plus rake back, however much that's adding up to. So not as great as I would like it to be going, but I've actually had I did quite a bit of hand review the last couple days. I looked through a lot of my hands, and I think I've just had some kind of unfortunate variance, actually. Like, there's been quite a bit of stuff that's happened that just sort of is like, oh, wow, that sucks. So, I think I need to work on some of my tendencies a little bit and play a little better, essentially. But I think that also there's been some unfortunate stuff. Running into that fish was actually really nice. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little more. It kind of occurred to me, one of the interesting things that occurred to me when I ran into this guy was that he completely changed his, like, everybody else at the table's win rate. He completely changes the dynamic. He completely changes the way the whole table plays, because he's in every single hand. He's playing kind of crazy. I think there was a hand. What did I have? 9s, and
yeah.
And I think Shark said that he would have folded in that situation because there was another player in the pot. Well, that other player also knows that this guy's playing super loose, and so I think I ended up in there against like 10-8 and pocket 4s. Or something, pocket 6s with my 9s. I ended up holding and tripling, having like winning a 3-way pot all in pre-flop. But that's the dynamic of this player being there changed it so much that he really made everyone else loosen up. So it's kind of stressful because you got to get in there kind of light sometimes because there's an edge. But it was pretty profitable. I ended up making about, he started out with $25, and by the time I was done, I had about $25 sitting in my stack. I think I actually got up to 30 at one point, and then he took a hand off me. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very, very profitable, and it just kind of made me realize, different tables have such different win rates. You could be a 5 big blind winner per 100 hands, at one table. You can be a 5 big blind loser at another table, and then you can be, at that table, I was probably winning 20 big blinds per 100. If that table situation lasted forever, that was a very, very profitable table to be at. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, all those things change, and so you really need to pay attention to not just like your long-term results, but what you really think the results are going to be at the table you're at. Like these two tables here are, kind of average, right? They're okay, they're not great, but I can probably like 5 big blinds per 100 is what I kind of would expect to be able to make. And that's just based on the fact that, we can probably hand read better than some of these players, and we can probably execute our hand reads better than some of these players. And that's another thing that I've kind of talked about a little bit lately and I've talked about it before, but, part of poker is that kind of off-the-table study that you can definitely learn how to read hands better, but to understand people's ranges better, a lot of that is just getting a lot of hands. Like, if you don't see a lot of people donk bet the flop, then you don't know, if you haven't seen it very many times, you don't know what people are doing it with. Because not only do you have to get to showdown to see what they had, you have to hit a hand or get to showdown somehow, and that doesn't happen that often. So knowing what those situations mean is like part of the equation, or just knowing, what types of hands certain types of players raise with on the flop or raise with on the turn. You have to see that happen a few times before you have an idea of what types of hand you expect those to be. So if you rarely see them, it's going to be tough to know, which means you got to play a lot of hands. Now, the other part of that equation is understanding how to exploit those tendencies. So even if I know, okay, this is this type of hand range, I think this guy's got this strong a hand, I have to know, where my hand stands against those. And I don't want to call with king queen, so this is a pretty good spot to make a squeeze. And that 60-cent raise looks huge to me. That is scary. Like, it looks ridiculously like just a massive bet, but that's that's the size we want to be making here. Whoa, that's not good. So our squeeze probably would have worked fine, but this guy went ahead and got a little wacky with it, so that wasn't what I was looking for. And he was playing 0-0, so looking to my left, didn't help there. I don't think he was doing that light. So I think we just ran into a hand, which is okay. People are allowed to get hands. But this is squeeze play, so we got to make those. We got to make the squeeze when we have the opportunity. I'm not gonna let that opportunity pass me by.
I think you should start getting on wait lists for better tables, because I recognize all these names. You're like this is like the fucking the daily grinders tables right here. All these guys I see on all the time.
All right. Let's see what we can do here.
Boone Farm, Corporal, Azibel, Flush Draw. All those guys are all.
Jump on a couple of the looser waiting lists. There aren't a ton of loose tables going right now, which is weird because Friday night's usually pretty good. Usually we get pretty loose tables for the show, which is clutch. So yeah. I mean, queen, yeah. I'll like raise the button down to, queen 4 suited or whatever on average, but these guys are relatively tight. One thing I don't have in here is I've got fold to steal, which this guy's is crazy low for some reason, but I don't have like 3-bet versus steal. I got 280 guys, so we can see he re-steals about, 11% of the time over 36 opportunities, which isn't particularly high, actually. I mean, I would expect... I don't think that that's crazy light, and this isn't a great 4-betting light hand. Again, I'm going to be 4-betting light more often with, my small aces, because those are very, very easy to fold to 5-bet shoves, and they have the ace blocker quality to them. So that's how I'm going to be playing those a little bit more often. But yeah, I've definitely been trying to dig into my own game a lot lately, and it's been really helpful. I feel actually like I'm thinking about the game quite a bit more clear, and I'm trying to actually use these stats a little bit more than I was. I was playing on Bovado where there aren't stats, and just trying to kind of get used to the sample sizes you need and sort of how to use the stats and everything has been pretty helpful. So Let's see. Yeah, I'm on some waiting lists here, but you know, we'll see how it goes. The other thing is that, you know, 11,000 hands, and and it's like 11,500 that I have right now. It's actually not that many. And what I'll say is that in Ed Miller's book, so what do we get value from here? We get value from under pairs, we get value from flush draws, we get value from king, queen, jack, queen, all sorts of hands. So we'll go ahead and bet out here on the flop, get value from those hands. It is a very dry board, but there's enough hands that we can get value from that it's worth betting. Checking back that board, you could maybe make an argument for it. I'm not sure what the argument would be other than the fact that there's very few cards that we're scared of. So kind of weighing, and it, you know, makes our hand look like an underpair or something. So maybe he'll fire the turn or call the turn bet with a weaker hand than he normally would. But I don't think, like, let's say a 10 falls on the turn. Unless he has a 10, I don't think that he's going to all of a sudden call with something that he wouldn't have called the flop with. But it might be an interesting hand to look at, the option. I've also been, you know, another thing I've been doing is looking at and I just marked that hand because I kind of want to, I've been thinking a lot more about checking back flops with both, you know, missed hands and made hands, and not being quite as aggressive with continuation betting. And one of the reasons is because I've realized that I have a really good idea of what people have by the river most of the time. And on the street where the biggest bets go in, if you have, you know, a good read on your opponent, it typically is, that's going to be a really good thing. So the problem is that if the no bet goes in on the flop, it's going to be a harder to read situation. So it's good and bad, but I've definitely been kind of playing a little bit more conservative post-flop than I was, and a little bit looser pre-flop, because that's sort of where I think my edge is on most of the opponents at this level is going to be post-flop. Anyone can, you know, take a hand chart and play 2017 and be pretty much hard to exploit pre-flop for the most part, but it's going to be more difficult to get after them post-flop. And we'll just 3-bet this guy light one more time. We haven't done it in a few rounds, so. And yeah, I saw one question in the chat a little bit ago about suited connectors. Yes, I will. I mean, I'll 3-bet anything, but you know, but yes, suited connectors are a decent one, because if you get called, it's not like a bad hand to, you know, to end up with, if that makes sense. It plays all right post flop. You know, a suited connector will play decently post flop, so I don't mind having it. And it looks like the table on the left is probably the better one, so I'll go ahead and that's good. We got a call there. I wanted to like bet full pot there, but I think 48. I'll make it $1, a little over $1. We'll go ahead and just bet big here. Ooh, that's not a great card. Now a deuce has a straight. It's going to be kind of hard to get value here, but we'll try. Ooh, nice.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, a bigger bet on the flop would have made that a little bit easier. The 4 ended up being a good card because it gave the opponent 2 pair, and so it was, you know, they weren't folding the 2 pair at that point. But that's the you know, that's the nice thing. And I don't, you know, that's calling a middle position raise with ace-4 suited out of position doesn't seem like a great idea to me, but you know, what do I know? Oh, and off screen squeeze play with ace-10. See how that goes. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I just looked over. This guy's 71.29. That might not have been a great idea, but it worked. So that's cool. All right, let me, oh, perfect. The big blind's coming around. We'll go ahead and close out this table on the right. Ended up being pretty profitable, so that's cool. And we'll open up, we'll open up this new one. And now we've got this. We got Blueprint here limping in. Let's go ahead and raise him up. And we'll play in position with him. Oh, you know what? I want to say he's done this before. Do I have a note? So he limp re-raises. Is that something he does a lot? Limp.
I don't like it.
And I don't have limp re-raise anywhere here, but I'll fold. It's kind of annoying, but we'll just let me make a note now that I've seen that. So I'll just make a quick note.
So do you make a note? Do you make a note on carbon? You make a note on your HUD.
I used to just always do it on carbon, but now I realize that it's really better to have them all on Holdem Manager, because when I review my hands, I make them on Holdem Manager, and then when I am reviewing my hands, I can see what notes I had on the player. So
sure.
It makes more sense to have them on Holdem Manager. Also, like, you can, well, I guess the program probably would track them everywhere also, but I was just thinking, like, you can share your database across multiple computers, so you'll have those notes everywhere, but I guess that's true with carbon anyway. This player is relatively tight, but obviously the king 8-6 is plenty dry that we want to be betting here, and I don't think there's any other move to make there other than bet. And let's go ahead and raise up here. All right, so what else is going on in the chat, Shark? What am I missing here?
Well, Kira by T-Hop said that he thinks that leases are bad value. And I would agree, because normally you're starting money away, not getting any equity in it. But however, take the scenario where, like, I'm in, where my car got hit, someone hit me, not my fault, somebody hit me, and it just destroys your equity. You know, just destroys your value of your car. Basically, now you're paying money for something that sucks. You know.
What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Was that an attempt to answer the question about how he would have a deuce by the river?
No, I to the question, he said that leases were bad values. That was the question.
Oh, I thought you were saying, the last question I just saw, which was like, what deuces would he have had by the river?
So I'm going to go ahead and ignore your question and answer my own. Right, so after that question, that was kind of earlier, and yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so, well, that's another, like, you know, people that have had, I'll give you an example. My, what was it? My sister's dog, they got like a Labradoodle or whatever, pretty expensive dog, and
Labradoodle.
It ate a electric radiator, like all the metal fins or whatever, and they had to have like surgery, you know, like $1,000 or some ridiculously expensive surgery to get all the metal, like, you know, taken out of its stomach because it had all this sharp metal in its stomach. And so now they have pet insurance. Most people don't have pet insurance, but when something like crappy like that happens, you know, you're like, oh man, if we had insurance, that, you know, we would have been fine. So, you know, I've had pet insurance on animals also before, because that is a really crappy situation, and it's not like super expensive. So I mean, that happens when people have, you know, something happen that causes them to realize that, oh, this terrible thing can happen, and makes things not as great, then I
mean, just think about, the car's a losing thing anyway. I mean, unless you're buying a car used, like a pooped used.
A used car is still going to lose value.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but just not as much. But yeah, you're throwing away your money either way. So, you know.
And also, it depends. I think it kind of comes down to your personality. If you're the type of person that's going to want a new car every 2 or 3 years, then a lease is a better deal. Like if you buy a car and only keep it for 2 years, it's more expensive than a lease, I think.
Yeah, that's why that maybe I should have bought a car because I like to keep cars for a long time.
Really?
Just kidding. No.
I think since I've known you, I think you've had like 5 different cars.
Well, I've had a Jeep, Corvette, BMW, and Land Rover now. So 4 cars in what, 4 years? No, 6 years.
Yeah.
So 5 years maybe. I don't know. It's rough.
All right. So Blueprint's now allowed to limp my big blind, which I don't like. I've got a gut shot here, but I don't really want to play that hand. So, all right, it's we're almost an hour into the show. I should go ahead and set up the man, brutal. I thought we were gonna have more people for the big giveaway here, but I guess guess not. That's okay. That's okay. I want somebody loyal to win it anyway. We'll see how many people actually even care about it. And maybe I'll have to pick some different giveaways to make something that may be more universal. I thought everybody had an iPhone 4, but I guess maybe I should have done iPhone 5 cases. But oh well.
Why did you fold Ace 4 versus the fish in position on table 2? I don't remember that hand, do you?
No. I mean, did I have a hand, or what did I have? Was it pre-flop? I don't play Ace 4 to raise this pre-flop usually. I don't really like calling with weak aces, even if it's against a fish. I mean, I'm not... Against this guy, I mean... I don't know.
Is that the one where he limp raised? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, back to the giveaway.
Yeah, anyway, I'll, when we get a little bit of a break in the action and I'm not 3-betting a guy, I'll go ahead and make a post on Facebook, and what I'll have is, you have to only make one post, and then, this should be pretty straightforward, right? Like, he should play pretty honestly here. We can just bet half pot. We could probably actually bet less than half pot and get him to respond really honestly as to whether or not he has something. I should have made that 16. That was my bad. I just clicked pot. I should have made that 16. And maybe I shouldn't have even raised that because this guy's pretty fishy. And he's going to showdown quite a bit when he sees the flop, but that's okay. We'll still bet. So I got to be careful. I'm 3-betting 15% over the last 100 hands on this table. So I probably want to make my next few 3-bets for value, because people may have been, maybe noticing that I'm 3-betting kind of light here. So, I don't want to get carried away with being more aggressive. But I am trying to play a little bit more of a looser, tight aggressive style. And we can fold there. So we flop open-ended here. We can definitely bet here and then barrel some turns. This guy's pretty tight and plays pretty straightforward. So I kind of want to bet like big here. If we do hit our hand and he calls, he's probably calling the whole way with a big hand. Oh, that's nice. So we do end up hitting. We just want to go bet because this guy's going to be, if he's calling the flop, he's probably calling down a lot. So we want to bet, big here, and we expect him to have a pretty decent hand.
Hopefully he doesn't have a 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7 or 10-king. But I don't think he calls with 10-king, so I think we can just go ahead and bet big here, and he's going to show up with like ace-jack or a set of jacks. Or anyway, I'm going to bet, and he'll probably call. A raise here would be disgusting.
I would definitely would.
Oh, he folded.
That's
all right. But we got pretty good value out of that, and I mean, I'm not upset about that too much, but I think actually that was kind of a scare card on the river for him, so that may have been what what caused him to let go. And I don't know what's going on here. This guy is crazy. This isn't the same guy, is it?
No.
I've seen this guy before though.
Rolla says you should record your hand reviews, so that he can learn how to review his own hands.
Yeah, I'll do some of those. I've been planning on doing that because I'm actually going to change up the way I've been. I kind of got a little carried away with the Twitch thing, doing a bunch of stuff on Twitch, and I'm going to get back to just making mostly YouTube videos and then live streaming on Twitch like once or twice a week. It was kind of fun. I enjoyed it, but it's I don't know. It takes a lot of like extra time and effort, and I think it takes away from the quality of my YouTube stuff. So
that might have been my fault. I think that was my influence.
I mean, it actually worked pretty well. I think it exposed a lot of people. I think it's something that I should do maybe like once every couple weeks. Do that 24-hour rounder TV. Like somebody in the chat a little bit ago I saw mentioned, oh hey, this is the first time I've seen you live, but I've watched your channel a lot. So I mean, people are checking it out and noticing it, and so it's cool. It helps. These guys are both pretty tight, so we can raise almost any two on the button. And this guy doesn't fold to steals a ton, which is weird. He's like super tight, but doesn't fold to steals. 36 hand isn't enough to know much, but. And then I just opened this table, and it's terrible. This is a terrible table that I just got on. This guy's only 3-betting 3%, and verse, again, we've got a few hands, but verse the button, I don't know. I don't have time. I opened, sit in, crap. Sorry, I got distracted, but I wanted to bet there. And now that he checks twice, I can definitely, if I bet here though, I probably have to bet like, oh man, this is the really crazy guy. This is kind of silly, but if I bet here, I probably have to bet the river. If he checks, I think I need to bomb this river. Trying to get a fish to fold is ridiculous, but we're going to do it. We're going to try. I'm going to say he's going to fold, but we're going to try to get him to fold.
Roman Philippe says that guy, when you had that straight, he was on a set of jacks.
No way. No. I don't think so. I don't think he folds a set of jacks.
Why would he fold it with the queen that hit,
Yeah, like, well, how do I get there with a straight other than the one I had, which isn't like a big part of my range?
Yeah.
I don't think I think he had ace jack or queens. I think maybe he's like real passive pre-flop and call. He only 3-bets 1% of the time, so he could easily.
Queens. If he had queens, the last card he would have hit his set.
Oh yeah, you're right. So queens doesn't. That's perfect. Yeah. Queens doesn't work either. So ace. Yeah, he wouldn't have called with ace. He probably had ace jack or yeah. I mean, he can call 2 streets with top pair, top kicker. I don't see why ace jack wasn't a part of her. Ace jack is like pretty good part of his range, and then he folds the river on the queen. I've been betting.
I think if he had a set of jacks and he was going to fold the straight, he would have folded the straight before, when the 5 hit.
I think he would have come alive at some point during the hand. I mean, his aggression's 36%. He's not like some just crazy passive player. I think he would have come alive at some point and made a bet, a raise. I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
So. Yeah, that's what I'll say to that. All right, so what I'll do is make a question. What should the question? I want to make a poll about poker or videos or something. So what's a good question to ask?
You could
not like a trivia thing, like a
what? No, ask like what people like what they open. You know.
Well, no, because I want to make poll options, so it's got to be like there got to be like 4 choices.
Okay. You put me on the spot here, you know.
That's all right. We'll play some poker and we'll think about it. Okay.
Let me cook on it. Let me cook on it a little bit. Okay.
All right.
The juice is going here. The juices.
So, it's been a pretty fun session so far. It's going pretty well. So, what? Anything else in the chat, Shark, that we can respond to?
Everyone's still talking about the jacks. Like someone said that they have jacks, and then someone said no, this guy never has jacks. Like someone said, never means rarely, and rarely means never. So still some it's a heated discussion. Someone said 10-7. I thought it would be 10-7 wouldn't make sense, but if he had 10-8, then he had the open ended nuts, which he didn't have because he would have hit the queen. Would have made him, so he didn't have that.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm 3-betting a ton here, but this is a great 3-bet hand. And they open for 12 cents, so it makes it more profitable to steal than if they had like min opened. I'm gonna go into check mode here because we got some showdown value, and also sometimes a check can be kind of scary. Oh, that's not very good.
Oh man.
Man, I think we got to call once here.
Really?
Yeah. And we'll
you know
see.
You're beat a lot?
I think I am, but I think that when I check the flop, it shows a lot of weakness. So, I kind of have to call once to the misbet. Now I think we can fold. Although this is all right. Yeah, the board didn't run out very well for us. The king is also a good barrel card, but it's also a big part of Kid Hokey's range.
So let's talk about the check call. It just seems real passive to me, and maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Like he probably has you beat there, but I would say that you're behind most of the time there, right?
Well,
would you agree with that? So the chances of you winning the hand are you hitting an ace. So that's 4. That's 3 outs times by 4. So now you have 12.
Time. You're dealing in like way too many absolutes right off the bat. Like you're saying that every time I check the flop and a player bets, they have a hand.
No, I mean, no, not necessarily, but I just think that you should, like, this player, I mean, it seems
40% aggression post flop. So 40% of the time they can make an aggressive action, they do. If somebody bet, my idea is that by 1, I think that sometimes it's suspicious when you 3-bet and then check the flop. And then 2, when I check, I'm showing weakness. So someone might take a stab, but then when I call, they may give up a lot of the time.
I think maybe throwing out a bet there would be better. See betting than just checking, because what I'm saying is
that's definitely possible. I won't say that that's not true.
In order for you to hit, in order for you to actually win, now you're just checking and calling, which means you have to have the better hand to win. There's no way you're going to win if you check and call, if you don't have a better hand. So basically you took bottom pair and checked and called.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but I just kind of want to analyze that a little bit, because just kind of, you need to get the fold equity back in there to raise that, to make that profitable. I'm not saying playing the hand is wrong. I'm saying I would be saying I would bet. I would just continue to C bet there.
Yeah. Normally I would. Oops, I should have made that 16 cents. Damn it.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. Normally I would. I just sort of. I just played it a little bit differently that time.
Okay. I just want to Okay. Yeah. Let's. Sorry.
So would you C bet here in a similar spot where I've got third pair?
Who did you open or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I would C bet. No, because I wouldn't C bet because it's a really drawy board,
Yeah,
right?
I think sometime I don't. It's rare because they, the queen of diamonds, like queen jack of spades, or only a few hands are actually going to raise this board, and I think that there's only a few raising hands on that board, but the question is, does anything worse ever call? Like maybe something with a spade, but I've got a spade, and I don't really see it a lot, but. Anyway, value in betting here. A jack and a queen can call. Some other spades can call. I really don't want to get raised, though, so I think I'm just going to actually check this down. This is going to be kind of weak, but yeah, so there wasn't really any value with that particular hand in betting, but I didn't expect a lot of like calls from worse hands, and so I think just sometimes you can just play it a little passively and check that. I'm still trying to find a balance with this thing, so it's a little bit of a new way of playing essentially for me. So it's I'm not always going to get it right. So yeah, normally that's a good point. Somebody made in the chat is out of position in a 3-bet pot. Like you kind of have to fire the C-bet. So yeah, I probably should have bet there. Trying something different didn't work. Oh well, it'll be okay.
And you folded the fours. I guess yeah, you were in the small blind. You could have been. I think that on the table 2, you had the fours, right? And you were in the small blind?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it a 2-way pot or a 3-way pot?
Just one razor.
Okay.
One razor, no calls.
He's got $5.30. And what do you think? I mean, obviously you folded it, but just kind of go back and analyze it a little bit more.
I mean, he's got a relatively wide range. My fours aren't going to play that well. Even if I do hit a set, trying to get value out of position against a guy with a wide range of hands is going to be very difficult.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can call there trying to hit a set, but
yeah, with the 10-10 out, he said Romo Philippe said he likes checking behind, and I said I would see bet, but I think checking behind allows you to hit a hand, and like what Unexceptional Rounder said, like only someone who can beat you is going to call, So I think checking behind the move you made, checking behind and getting a turn, to possibly improve your hand. I agree with that a lot.
Yeah, so. I don't expect to improve my hand that often, but I think that there's very little value to be had by betting, and there's it allows us to, if we check back, we can maybe call a bet. So if someone does want to just take a stab at it, or if another spade comes and someone wants to kind of bluff at the spade, we can now call because we've kept the pot small. So by
right.
keeping the pot small with a medium hand, it allows us to pretty much call one bet, and that's all we'd want to call in that situation. If the pot gets bigger, then we're clearly way behind.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh.
How many viewers do we have right now? Let's see. Only 14. I feel like we've established like a good crowd, like a set of loyal followers who just pretty much 10 people who tune in every week.
Yeah, which is cool. I like that, and I definitely encourage you guys. In the video I made announcing that the Squeeze Play announcement video I made, I mentioned it, but we've got some working forums. I know Shark still owes me an introduction post. He needs to go introduce himself on the forums. But definitely jump on there. Go to unexceptionalrounder.com and introduce yourself and check out the forums. I'm going to try to get some hands up on there. I've got one hand posted to analyze and check out. Actually, let me see if anybody actually responded to that post. Because I was going to kind of talk about it towards the end of the show and do the giveaway, talk about the hand, see if anyone made any interesting posts or whatnot. So we'll see.
Your cousin must be a really handsome person. Probably look like someone's cousin.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Yeah. I think he's hitting on me. This might be my cousin.
All right, so I went ahead and posted a question on my Facebook, which is pretty much like, what types of prizes would you want, to see given away during the show? I said, the iPhone cases, poker books, computer gear, or something else. You can make a suggestion or add an option, I think, if you want. So what you need to do is to win, and I'll do it at the end of the show. I'll use the random number generator based on how many comments I get. It's probably going to be less than 14, so it should be, your chances are good. Might enter myself. But yeah, go ahead and and check it out. So what you have to when you go on there and post on facebook.com/urounder is just let me know what your YouTube username is and your Twitch username, and then you have to be following whatever. I mean, you can figure it out. You just got to be involved in that stuff, and then you're good. So let me what was I just doing?
3-betting the guy in the button.
I was doing something else.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so we pull up a gutter, so we won't make that same mistake again. We'll make our standard kind of half pot c-bet. Jack Queen this isn't a great board. I accept a lot of calls, but we do have the gutter. Man, really unfortunate here. This guy 3-bets us. That's fine. I can't really justify betting again. It's not always going to work out how you want it to. Looks like twice in a row this isn't working out how I want it to. So, got to kind of give it up here. I don't know. Maybe some people would double barrel this. Like, is double barreling this with a gut shot and an overcard? Like, I feel like maybe a double barrel there is actually not as bad as I think it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that would have gotten a fold. That's frustrating, but that's okay. So, let me check the form.
You typed nice hand?
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
How's that? I was being serious. That was pretty well played.
Man.
All right, so clearly I've got a really aggressive image on this table because people are floating my 3-bets. So I definitely want to maybe tighten up a little bit. And I really want this table not to go away because I've got a really loose image that I'd like to use to my advantage. If the table breaks, it's kind of wasted. So yeah, nobody's responded to the topic in the forum, so I guess we won't be doing anything with that. But that's all right. Yeah, went ahead, made the post. So yeah, just leave your Twitch and your YouTube name in there, and then I'll use the random number generator to pick somebody. But that's
unexceptional rounder wins again.
What was it? What's that?
I'm sorry. The random number generator. Oh, I win again. Unexceptional wins again.
Yeah, I'll be doing the random number generator off screen.
I don't want to give away the phone case because then I won't have a phone case.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was gonna go ahead and put us back in a different game category. See if we can
check jam the turn. He says on the Queen Jack board. Holy crap!
Oh.
That seems extremely aggressive and crazy.
Oh, I mean, heads up now.
I think your heads up with this guy.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and tell you why I think check jam the turn is why an exceptional rounder pretty much rips this guy apart heads up. So basically, you're checking, and I don't have a problem with that. Check raising is that's another thing you can do. With check jamming, basically you're risking your whole stack to win a dollar pot. Like the amount of money that you can win versus the risk you're taking is not worth it. I mean, basically it's a bluff. You know, obviously it's a semi bluff, but it's still a bluff.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of.
You want to make your bluffs as cheap as possible. I don't think check jamming. I think check jamming you could do that with a check raise. You know.
Well, it is a check raise. But no, they're just saying because the stacks were so deep, it would have to be a jam. There's no check raise on the turn. There's no room to check raise the turn. If you check raise the turn, you're check raising all in. It was a 3-bet pot, so if you check raise in a 3-bet pot, it's like almost always all in. It's just that the stacks are really shallow compared to the pot, so it's not.
On the Queen Jack board?
Yeah, because the pot was already like $2. So by the time they bet, I'm only betting like another like $3.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so like if you're check raising, you are check jamming, yeah, I actually really like that play now that you guys mention it because I've got the outs and it puts the max pressure. Plus, there's so good a chance that the person's going to be, you know, calling once or floating there a lot of the times. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. That would be, yeah, I do. I like that play a lot. It's a good idea. Do you like? Let's see. I'll sit to the left of the... what the heck just happened? Why? Oh. No, I wanted to sit to the left of the big stack. No. Stand up. Damn it.
Oh, I should take a post.
Oh, well. Does that, like... You understand what? So you said you liked check raising. You just didn't realize the stacks were shallow on that, or
exactly? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I do. The check raise there is pretty good because it also. I mean, like, what do you do with a jack there? You know, like, what do you do with ace jack? Like, what do you do? There's a lot of hands that are real tough to play. Obviously, the hand that that guy ended up having would have folded, but there's a lot of other.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen crazier. Like.
Wait, what do you mean?
You say he would have folded. I said maybe. It's people have to call.
But we still had.
I mean, yeah, you still were ahead, I think, but were you ahead?
Yeah, I was ahead, but you know, even against somebody without an ace and the gut shot, you know, that gives me 14% equity. So, I mean, I've got a little bit of equity and I've got a lot of fold equity. So, if, you know, we could look at it. That would be a good hand to like break down at some point and analyze. This guy's really aggressive. This guy's not folding a lot to 3-bets probably. Well, looks like he's only had a few chances, but he's folded to 3 of them so far, so we'll see.
Do you recognize Kirby Athrop name? Apparently someone said some deuces cracked. I don't recognize that name.
Oh, cool. No, I don't recognize it, but that doesn't mean I haven't been on Deuces Cracked a ton, so I haven't really looked around at a lot of their stuff.
He uses it, but it's not him.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So, so you pretty pumped about the new car or what? Usually I'm like really excited when I get a new car.
I'm excited, but you know, it's a little sad. I love my M3, so
So is that was you? That was when you just traded it in?
yeah, I just got rid of the M3.
You should have kept it.
I couldn't afford it, man. I'm going back to school, you know?
Mm.
I was paying so much money for it, you know? Like I said, a Range Rover, I paid 33% of what my old payment was.
That's pretty cool.
I got a Range Rover, you know?
That's pretty nice.
I was just thinking about how much I was paying. I pay more for my car than I do for my house in downtown Miami.
Yeah, I used to subscribe to Deuces Cracked, and I don't know Blah234, but I know Beluga Whale and Foxwood Fiend, and I do enjoy both of their videos a lot. Foxwood Fiend is really good. I also like what's that guy's name? Seif09. I like him, but yeah, Beluga Whale is probably my favorite. Obviously, that's kind of a standard thing. He explains stuff really, really well.
But there's no reason to go to Deuces Cracked and watch information on unexceptionalrouter.com and unexceptionalrouter on YouTube for free. So,
yeah.
Friends,
I mean, tell
your family, hide your kids, hide your wife.
I wouldn't completely agree with that, but
Shut up.
I'm definitely trying to learn as well. So it's kind of fun. That's why I really want to get the get a little more action in the forums and see see if we can get some good discussion going there. I've kind of talked before, like not Pocket Fives. 2+2 is very, very good. Like that's a great poker forum, but I mean, it's just there's a lot of people. It's busy. It's kind of intimidating to post there, I think, for some people, and it's just I don't know. It's just very, very like busy. There's lots and lots of people. I don't know. I don't really like it that much. I think the advice is very good and people are very knowledgeable, but I don't know. I've just never really gotten into it as much as I guess I would at least like to, maybe. But hey, what's going on, Crown and Ginger? Nice screen name, by the way. Crown and Ginger.
You may have a drinking problem, but don't we all?
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
Buddy.
So, oh man, you're just in time. If you have an iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S, I'm about to give away a case. So you should definitely check that out. I should have put like the rules for the contest somewhere. I'll just make a comment on the Facebook post. What did I do? I flat call? I'll just check here. Maybe we can get to... Oh, there it is. Bink. I don't know if there's a lot of value here. I feel like most kings would have bet the flop, especially lose the revolver. Maybe he would check back a king sometimes here because it's so dry.
People slow play a lot. In 4 and L2, I noticed, so...
Yeah, we gotta... If there's any money to be won here, we need to build this pot. So I'm going to bet kind of huge. And... if anybody has something or if there's any reason to make any money from this, I've got to kind of bet out sort of large here to make it worth it. I mean, I almost always think I'm going to get a fold, but I don't think it matters too much, so... Anything exciting happening on screen? We'll just check there.
You should check it's and fold your 310. But besides that, nothing. He actually does have a drinking problem. Called it.
Good stuff. So, let me refresh. I feel like we've lost a bunch of money. Oh, not too bad. So we're still having a great session, which is cool. And actually, what's kind of interesting is I meant to take this off because I hate looking at EV now, because it goes all over the place. But but we haven't actually gotten in before the river. So we haven't had any EV up or down, but we're up $3.18 this session, which is 28 big blinds per 100, which is crushing. So that's pretty awesome. This guy is crazy tight, so we'll fold here. These tables are kind of junk. Like, I'm not really digging these tables too much, but that's okay.
That's good. It's good to see a good return on terrible tables. Like that's a winning play.
Well, and that's like, I try not to do this, but sometimes I do like to kind of like play against regulars, because there's something to be said for they do have some amount of predictability. Like, you know, like they're a lot easier to hand read than like fish. And if you're really thinking and they're on autopilot, which isn't necessarily the case right now. I don't play particularly well during the show, I don't think, because I'm trying to manage a bunch of stuff, which is why I think even when I'm like moving up, I'll probably play lower than the current level, or I'll always play less tables. But I am going to start doing more like session reviews where I just play and record it and then talk about it afterwards, because I do think that trying to explain stuff and talk about stuff while I'm recording really does hurt my ability to play as well. And I've kind of noticed that my win rates while recording live aren't as high, which I would expect, I guess. I mean, that's sort of, that's not surprising, I don't think. But it is fun, it is entertaining, so...
It's only 2 table when you're live, and you 4 table when you're also, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's true. To try and actually offset that a little bit, but I actually think that 2 tabling on my own would actually be beneficial, because it really does allow you to break down each play a little bit more, especially like if I 2 tabling a couple fast tables. Those do get you more hands per hour, and that's generally a good thing if you're a winning player. Also, fish-like action. If you look at the looser tables, quite a few of them are the fast ones, so that sort of makes sense.
You know what I was thinking would be a good poker name? I just thought of this. Fish food.
Fish
Get
food?
it? Yeah, because like sharks eat the fish, but you're so terrible.
You're the fish food.
Yeah.
I like that. So we get a lead here. We've got top pair. We're probably not folding to this guy. So we want to keep the draws and stuff in his range. That's a bad card, obviously, and he just jams the turn on a really bad card. So what did he have to have here? He had to have 9-10 for that to have hit, which is definitely in his range, but I have a 10. I don't know. I'm just going to call. He's got the big ace-5, so it works out all right. That's he's
a short stacker, so
yeah. I mean,
like whenever
half a stack, he's played 5 hands. He's 60-20, so we don't fold top pair to those people, those types of people.
If you can get a short stacker playing deep, like making them play like deeper than they're normally used to post flop, you got a big edge on them, because they don't play post flop. They get all in on the pre flop. That's what they do. So making him trying to make, basically he didn't know how to play that, so he just did what he always does, jam all in.
Yeah, he hit a piece of it and he jammed, which I don't think was very good against my range, because my range was made hands a lot of the times. So
because they're not good at short stackers aren't good at hand reading. They're not good. They're just good at basically minimizing their loss and backing and whatever they possibly can, and betting when they hit a hand.
Yeah. And then with the ace queen, I'm obviously raising for value on this in this situation, and I don't expect to get 4-bet very often, because whoops, that would have been bad. I think, did the stats just change because like it adjusted something? I don't know. I thought maybe something just changed. Like I was looking at the wrong stats for different stats for a different guy or something, but I'm not sure. That can happen. You want to make sure. That's why I leave the name on here, just an abbreviation of the name, so I make sure that the stats that I'm seeing are for the player that's actually sitting there. That's that can be a costly mistake. So now that I've been playing, I've got 11,000 hands. I play at least like you know, every couple days on here. I'm not getting as many hands as I'd like, but I think cutting out the Twitch business a little bit will help me get more hands and also put out more videos. I haven't been particularly pleased with my video output lately. I did get a couple Leak Finder videos up for of Rello playing, which I think were really good videos. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Rello, hopefully it was helpful, and I pointed some stuff out to you. But I enjoyed doing those. So Shark is going to do one here. I want him to do an updated one because the last one was like a week old. So I want like the most current one so we can see how the improvement's going.
I'll get you some footage tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, no, I buying a car today. You got real life stuff going on, and poker's not your full-time job, so it's all good. Also, I think I've mentioned this on the last show, but see here, I could like squeeze here with the 8s, but I think calling is going to be better. I've got position on the fish, and you know, this guy's going to c-bet a ton, so if we do hit a set, you know, we expect a bet, and then we can see what the fish does. So it's just, we're in really good position because we're always going to know what the fish is doing in the hand. So I do like our position. I do like hitting sets on the turn, and we'll see how it all works out. So I'm going to check one more time.
Don't check. No, I would bet there.
Oh, man. Well, now I'll bet. I don't know what the heck everyone has. This is ridiculous.
I don't have anything. They might have like probably like Queen Jack.
Yeah,
King, Queen.
I guess nobody has anything, and so I wasn't getting any value here anyway. But we can go ahead and bet out. Okay, all right. I'll see you later. Have fun.
So what I want to say about that squeeze play, and I think this you made a good point not to do a squeeze play. But another one I kind of add on that is all your value in 8s is hitting that set, right? And you don't want to squeeze somebody out. You want to get as many callers as your last to act. So you want to get as many callers in that pot. Hit your 8, boom. Now you just got $6 from the rock most and $3 from Dana Game. You know, if they also have hands. So
right,
I think squeezing someone out of there is a bad because you want to increase your implied odds there.
Right, and the other thing is that even if like squeezing could be plus EV, but I don't think it's as plus EV as calling with the fish in the pot. I think that's going to be. I think calling there is best. Squeezing might be next, and then, you know, folding's the worst, or something like that. So that's definitely here might be an
especially for last attack.
Squeeze. Let's see what his early position. He's opening actually quite a bit early position, but that's only out of 8 hands that we've seen, so we really don't have enough on him. Our 3-bet's really tight on this table so far, but sorry, I've got. I'm trying to see if there's some other better tables we can get on. So which of these two tables, Shark, do you think is worse of the two that we're on?
Probably, I don't know anybody on the right one. Probably the left one. I think the rock most I've seen before, and Corporal, or Captain, whoever that is, he is a very regular player. He's pretty tight. You're not going to get anything from him. I would say the left one is the worst, honestly.
All right.
I don't recognize anyone on the right.
Well, we got Dan on the left, though. That is a huge fish that's directly to our right.
Oh, yeah, okay, so yeah. No, maybe. Let's see, hang on. Let me look at the actual numbers here. I was just looking.
So this is something that I like to do every just few hands. I'll just sort of, if there's a lull or something and I've got a break and I'm, you know, looking for something to do because, you know, I get antsy, I just take a look at my table and I say, okay, you know, first thing I do is I look up the overall table stats. If they're like this, 23, 24, my initial thing is like, all right, this table's not that great. Let's see if there's a reason to stay. So then I just sort of look around, and the most important seats are the 2 to your left and the 1 to your right. You know, the 1 or 2 to your left. So that pretty much leaves 1 seat that's not important, which sounds stupid, but but you know, the guy to your right is very important, and the guy to your left is, you know, very important. If I was going to, you know, kind of rank it. So you definitely want to pay attention to those, and kind of see what's going on with those two. So here I've got, you know, a tag that doesn't look to be 3-betting a lot, or at least hasn't over the last 34 hands, which isn't a very good sample. I've got a really tight guy here, which is good. So, you know, actually the table on the Sorry, the table on the left, you know, I've got some tags on the left, so I can definitely steal some blinds. And then I've got this like fish on the right, which is also really, really good. So, you know, realistically, I think it's a pretty solid table that I'm sitting at. On the left, I actually like it. So even though the VPIP might not be like terribly attractive, you know, it's actually a pretty good, you know, pretty good situation potentially. Wow. All right. I apologize, guys. I just won a huge pot on a table off screen that I was, you know, waiting to see if it was going to be good or not. And it's a 15-13 table, so I didn't have it on screen. But let me see if I can pull the hand over. If you guys can see this, I had deuces, hit a set on the flop on an ace-10-2. I just went bet almost full pot, bet almost full pot, bet like 2/3 pot, and I got called down with ace-jack. So not a particularly like interesting hand, but, you know, pretty profitable. And that was with twos from middle position, so worked out all right.
Someone just asked about that question. Why won't you open twos from early position? And I wrote back in the chat, like 2-3 suited, like the times in early position you're more likely to get 3-bet, and you're gonna have to fold those away. So the times that you hit a set, the money that you get from that, versus the times that you get 3-bet and have to fold, it's just not profitable to open them up early position, which is why you can kind of wait till middle position, to late position to play those hands, because it's just enough to give you, you know, you're going to get position post, you get the advantage of position post flop, and you're going to get the advantage of less to act behind pre flop.
Yeah, every position you go back is like you know, a much higher percentage chance of being in position post flop. And so that's part of it. I mean, twos could be profitable under the gun. I'm not saying you can't make money with twos under the gun. I've just haven't been having a ton of luck with them. So, I mean, in a lot of situations, I probably would raise twos under the gun, but I just haven't lately. So, you know, maybe I'll throw them back in once I get a little more comfortable or once I realize that they are winning, but the thing is I don't know if I'm going to be in position, out of position. I don't know who's going to raise. I don't know who's going to call. When you're first to act, there's just so many unknowns. And, you know, if it's really, really close decision, I just sort of, on twos, I just sort of lean towards folding, you know, twos, threes, and fours. The other issue is that, you know, being out of position and having potentially a few people call behind, your twos may get, you know, set over setted, and a lot of value in sets can actually come from when you have the higher set. So when I have bad position with everybody else to act and, you know, the least amount of information about the hand, you know, I just choose to sort of leave those aside and, you know, open fives and better. So and I'll adjust that accordingly if I have a reason to, but that's my default. For now, unless I change it. So we'll see. But yeah, I hadn't been making money with those hands, so I decided to cut them out a little bit. And the other thing I'd like to do is, I think what I'll do is kind of like each level as I move up, which it looks like it's going to take like 1 or 2 months per level, just to get the number of hands, because it's hard for me to get the volume I'd like to. I will like get a new, you know, piece of software, essentially. Like I'll actually go out and buy a new piece of software. So hopefully, I don't really make any like money from, right now I'm not even really making any money from poker, or from like the, you know, my YouTube or my Twitch stuff. So I can't just go buying all this stuff and testing it out, because it's expensive. So like each time I move up a level, I'll probably and here, we don't have aggressive 3-betters in the blind, so I'll go ahead and call. If I had like aggressive 3-betters or guys that I thought would squeeze a lot light here, which is very profitable play, I would probably raise these 8s and make a 3-bet myself. But because we, you know, didn't, I thought calling was probably better. And he checks this flop, which is kind of interesting for an aggressive post-flop player. I'm just going to go ahead and check back. I don't really... If I could get to showdown here, that'd be great. But for somebody that continuation bets like 100% of the time, it's a little strange. I mean, he's had 5 opportunities to c-bet. He's bet 5 out of 5 of them. So I'm not sure what he has or what's going on, but I'm just going to check back. He's got pocket 3s, our pocket 8s hold, and we take down the pot. So I like that. That's cool. And off screen, I just flopped, the top end of a straight, open-ended, and man, I run good during the show a lot. And then he just goes ahead and jams it in, so this is a pretty easy call. And he's got 2 pairs, so no 8 or jack on. Oh my goodness, that is brutal. Okay, so much for hitting straights all the time. Yeah, so that wasn't actually a huge pot. It was about a $4.14 pot because he was half stacked. So that happens. Not the end of the world. But actually, this table I've got off screen is 35-17. Looks like it's pretty loose. So which man, it's unfortunate. I've got this kind of like lag player to my right over here, and then this fish over here. I'm actually on like 2 pretty good tables already. This guy's like half stacked, which is kind of...
Rounder, something's going on with your internet. Like, you're not twitching anymore, and like you got knocked off Twitch. Your Skype for me is extremely fuzzy and terrible. Yeah.
All right. Let me. Let me see here. It looks, yeah, the Twitch isn't showing up.
It's back on now.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully. Darn, that's gonna mean I need to have part 1 and part 2. I hate it when that happens. All right. Well, we've had gone a while without having a broken broadcast, but it looks like we just got one. So I apologize. Don't like when that happens, but.
Is someone else using the internet, or it seems like the internet just got significantly slower, like just all of a sudden, like right now?
No, shouldn't be anything going on. But how is it right now? Does it seem better, or?
No, you just, your voice sounds like very fragmented and like
That is not good.
I will turn off my video camera to help here.
All right. Well, let me take a short. We'll take a short break here, and I'll be right back. And yeah, take a short break. I'll be right back, and let me just go check the router real quick downstairs. And I'm gonna grab some water, and then we'll go back, and I'll take the show like an extra 15 or 20 minutes to make up for it. So I'll be right back. All right. Let me get my little earpiece in here. Sorry about that. No, I didn't. Couldn't find anything. How's the connection seem now? Shark, you there? Uh-oh. Did Shark leave too? All right. Anyway, I am back. So we'll keep pushing. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. There's too much I can do. Unfortunately, I guess the internet's not performing as well as I'd like, and I'm not 100% sure why. But we'll push on with the rest of the show. This happens sometimes. I don't have the best internet, honestly, so unfortunately, this is more of a frequent event than I'd like it to be. And let's see. This guy's got some money. The rest of this table is actually pretty tight. I think I like the right table now better. Well, that guy's only got 87 cents. So.
I am back. Sorry.
Oh man, you decided to take a break right at the same time as me, huh?
Well, you know.
Really good timing. So
I did just run into the house after I bought a car. You know, I did a biological break, you know. So, man, nobody wants my phone case. There's not a single person's entered the competition for the phone case. Clearly, this isn't what you guys want to see. We're crazy. We're giving them away.
Man, I gotta pick a better. Let's give away cash next time.
$1 million. Will anyone post on my forum for $1 million?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get desperate or anything, but so. All right, well, let's go ahead and get some more hands. Actually, we've got some pretty awesome tables, so I may actually cut the show off, and maybe I'll keep streaming for a little bit afterwards, just because these tables are pretty good, and I kind of want a 3-table, but I can't 3-table with the current Twitch setup. Also, I've changed. I think I've mentioned it, but I've changed my button. My button sizing to my small blind versus big blind to be 3 times the big blind, instead of just like making it like min or 9 cents, just to give a little bit worse odds to the big blind to call. So yeah, I think my bet sizing is getting cleaned up quite a bit, and my my raises and my ranges. So I think everything's getting just kind of getting a little bit like smoother, a little bit better, and I think I'm starting to see it reflect in my win rate a little bit. Just because all those small changes over hundreds and hundreds of hands make big differences, and that's what's really important. Like one mistake on the turn can be very, very expensive. So I think it's important to go down and, we were talking, Shark, about going through the actual hand ranges and your equity against different ranges, and not only trying to put that player on a hand, but figuring out how to best play against the range that you think he has, and how important that actually is in your overall win rate, because all these little tiny decisions over hundreds and hundreds of hands make big differences. So, how's the audio and everything now? Is it any better, or what are we working with here?
It's back to normal. Did you fix something, or did it just click back in?
No, I guess it's just working okay now.
Yeah, so the conversation that and you, Rounder, had was, I just kind of like hate this poker stove thing, but kind of like, I thought like, why the freak do I care if you have this whole equation and I go in a poker stove and figure it all out. And I guess it basically is because as you play poker and you find out the situation, you use these canned situations which you plug into poker stove and stuff like that, and it gives you a baseline. So when you find yourself in that similar situation, you're never going to find yourself in the exact situation, because people, stack sizes, how you bet pre-flop, post-flop. There's so much dynamic in poker, but you can say, okay, I know that this scenario, and this is what I have, right? Boom. And then you can say, now you can adjust like what the right play is, like you can kind of tweak it versus the actual in-game dynamics, which is why I think that, he really kind of changed my mind about why it's so important to go back through and, scrub your hands and poker stove them and kind of see, basically get those canned references that you're going to use throughout your entire poker career.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of hard to fathom at first when you're like, well, there's no possible way I can calculate this all on the fly. So why the heck would I care about being able to, like, why would I go through and do all this if I'm not going to be able to do it in the game? And the fact is that these situations come up over and over and over again. And what you want to do when you're reviewing and when you're analyzing is you look for patterns. And you can, with all the tracking software and stuff, it makes it a lot easier to find those patterns. You go through and look for spots where you were raised on the turn. And you can find, like, okay, how do I usually play this? Am I just folding every time I don't have a hand? Am I, thinking he's bluffing, so I'm just raising all in and losing tons of money? You can find these patterns in your game, and then you find these situations that are difficult, and you break them down, and you look at the ranges, and you find, to the best of your ability, the correct answer. Because a lot of these things have a correct answer. A lot of people will say, and, a lot of people will say that they, I lost my train of thought, sorry. But it depends, and there's so many situations, and you can play it a lot of different ways. And that's true sometimes, but sometimes for your exact situation and your exact hand read, there is a no-kidding correct answer. And so if you don't, like, if you're not willing to find that correct answer, it's gonna be kind of tough in the long run to win. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a squeeze play here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call down on the right-hand table, and then I'm going to make my dog stop doing whatever it's doing, making a bunch of noise in the background. That ace is kind of unfortunate, but I'm still gonna go ahead and call because it's just such a good barrel card for our opponent that I don't think we can fold. And when he checks the river, I think a lot of times he's missed here, but I don't have a lot of value to bet for. He could have a very weak ace sometimes here, like ace 4, and he's still going to call. So I think because there's so many weak aces in his range, I don't see a lot of value in betting out here. Oh, wow. Same hand. It kind of shows the power of position a little bit, although he went ahead and barreled that turn, which is interesting, and I guess theoretically could have gotten me to fold some hands. It's not, usually the hand in position has an advantage. When the same hand's like playing against each other, you'll find that the one that's in position oftentimes wins. Oh.
So, okay. You said you want to extend the show 15 minutes, or?
Yeah, we'll extend it a little bit because we had the downtime, and I'm gonna end up having to break it up into 2 parts when I put it onto YouTube, which is annoying. I don't like doing that, but that's okay. We'll just make the show a little bit longer, and we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, let me know what you guys have for suggestions to maybe get a few more people on the show. It seems like it's actually unfortunately gone down. I feel like we used to pretty consistently have like 40 or 50 people on it, but maybe that's just my imagination.
No, we used to, yeah. I don't know. Ever since you started doing the 24-hour Twitch thing, it's been worse, so that's my bad.
Yeah, I think maybe I guess there's some possibility that people don't know that I have a lot. I don't know, it's pretty obvious when you look at my Twitch page that I have a live poker show that I do Friday nights, I think. I'm not sure, though. It's
maybe live poker show is just a little too, doesn't quite say everything,
Yeah, that could be it. My dog likes to come sit on the chair next to me here and keep me company when I play poker, which is nice. It's nice because it's not making any noise also, so I appreciate that. Let's see, we're still doing great on the session, even though we had a pretty horrible suck out. Actually, we got nailed by a 4-outer, so that's unfortunate, but it happens. So we don't worry about that too much, but it's good. We've got enough hands this session that even though we got all in and got hit by a 4-outer, we're actually still up. Still up almost a buy-in over a couple hour session. So that's not bad. And actually, if you consider how many hands you play, you can't even expect to make a buy-in an hour. That's I think having reasonable expectations is a big part of not getting frustrated with poker and not. Where is? Oh, I was gonna look for this guy's fold to 3-bet. It doesn't look particularly high. We don't have a ton of hands on him. So let's just go ahead and do it anyway.
I think you have somebody who entered the challenge.
Yeah,
Rello.
yeah, I saw Rello was going to. So.
All right, I appreciate his enthusiasm about everything unexceptional rounder.
All right, we got a couple people applying. Nice. All right, appreciate that, Rocky. Here we've got middle pair. There are some value we can get from worse hands, overcards. Sorry, I'm talking about a screen off the table. I hate it when I do that. Anyway, I bet he folded. Cool. I kind of want to switch. Oh, you know what? This guy's sitting out, so I'm gonna pull this table off and put this table on, because this is a pretty it was a pretty wily table. Not as much anymore, but I think it's pretty good, and so it's going pretty well. But oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So I do have all the same rakeback sites, I think, now on my new rakeback site, which you can get to. It's rakeback.com/unexceptionalrounder. Or sorry, no, sorry. It's rakeback.unexceptionalrounder.com or something. I'll have to look. If you go to unexceptionalrounder.com, you can find it really easily. But it's got both like carbon poker on it, which I don't as much recommend because they make you use their VIP system now. But I've got like a lock poker thing where you can get like 36% rakeback on lock poker if you sign up there. And so that's, I think, the next site I'm going to go to, because I'm just tired of, like, they also have they have a larger player pool. I found a site. I pretty much just Googled, like different network sizes to look for the biggest networks, and I found out PokerStars is huge. There's a lot of players on PokerStars. It is a massive poker network, but the but Merge is what Carbon is on is actually a little bit smaller than the network, like Revolution Gaming Network or whatever. Whatever the. Let me see here. The Revolution Gaming Network is bigger than Carbon. Sorry, I lose my train of thought sometimes when I'm trying to play poker. But yeah, so it's a bigger network, so there's going to be more games going. Did my 10 high just win? Wow, nice. Nice surprise.
Somebody said you should put those on PokerTube. Sorry, go ahead.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh no, go. What was that? What did we just found that site the other day, right?
Yeah, we didn't even realize that even existed.
Yeah, I didn't. So how do I do that? What's the plan there? Who's talking? What do we got? That's
Rollo. He said you should put videos on PokerTube.
Oh, all right. I got to figure out how to do that. I'll write that down so I don't forget, because I actually saw that site the other day and I was like, can I put videos on here? This looks like a good idea. So yeah, definitely gonna do that. Yeah. So I forget what I was talking about before that.
You're talking about how big PokerStars is, the revolutionary site.
So what was interesting is that the site even bigger than that, and I was only like kind of looking for the U.S. Friendly sites. The next biggest site was Bodog or Bovada, which is actually bigger than it's actually bigger than Merge or Revolution. So it's bigger than Lock Poker or Carbon Poker, which I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't realize it was that big a site, which is kind of neat.
Considering it's like Bovada is only Bovada. Merge is a combination of a bunch of different sites.
Yeah, and like Bovada, I believe, is like only U.S. players, which is kind of interesting.
And it has no doesn't have a lot of features.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That's why I think Bovada is a lot softer, is because it doesn't attract the better players for what it offers.
Yeah, and that's sort of always been its draw, is that it has softer games, which, I mean, I was pretty much like crushing the 25 NL games, and I had started playing 50 NL on there and doing fine. So, Shark keeps telling me I should go back and make some more Bovada videos, and maybe I should. I mean, those are soft games, and I can actually make some decent money over there, I think. So that's something maybe I'll look into doing.
I don't like it because there's no way to track your play. I wish you could. Having the HUD and everything is one thing, but something that I think is vital, especially if you're a learning player, is tracking your hands. Tracking. Going through and doing solid hand reviews, which is difficult without some sort of manager.
Yeah. No. And that's like, that is one of the biggest things. Like if you could, I think you can. I'm not exactly sure how, but I do think there is a way to do it. So there is a way to do it. You just need to kind of either there's some additional software you need or something else, but I know there is a way to get your hands into your tracking system, even though you can't use a HUD. It might be kind of difficult, but I think that is really important, because like live, if you talk to players that play live poker, everybody's a winner. Everybody at the live poker table is a winning player. Most, I'd say at Carbon, at 4NL, probably about 10% of players are winning players.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah, about 1 in 10 is probably a winning player. And not only that, but it takes a long time to actually figure out if you're a winning player. So at live poker, the rake is actually very expensive in live poker, and people are buying drinks and stuff the whole time. So I would guess that there's probably less winners in live poker. Yet everybody kind of thinks they're a winner in their head, and that's because they aren't very good at keeping track of their wins and their losses. They don't have a dedicated poker bankroll. If you don't have a dedicated bankroll or a way of tracking your winnings and losing, your wins and losses, you're just going to kind of have to go by memory or feel or whatever that is. And most people are going to favor, the fact that they're successful over, not being successful. So that's the biggest thing.
Speaking of winning and being successful, Shelder1234 just asked how he can win the $100 giveaway today.
Oh, really?
Just trying to segue into that.
You want to go ahead and explain that for me?
I'll let you go and have some details, because I'm not exactly sure what you got going on. So,
as long as you're following this Twitch channel and my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/unexceptionalrounder, you can find a link below the video here, and you go to my Facebook page. There's a post on my Facebook page, and as long as you have liked the Facebook page, leave a comment there with your YouTube name and your Twitch name, like the people already have. You can kind of follow the example, and then you should be good. if that makes sense. So if you go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/urounder, what is it? UROUNDER. You can go there and look, and it'll kind of be a little bit of a giveaway. So hopefully that answers that question. And
sorry, got all excited because someone wanted to actually win something.
No,
besides you, of course.
That. Yeah. Actually,
just put your name and social security number on our website.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and do a direct transfer to your bank account.
Yeah. And yeah, sweet.
So here, I think this is a good spot to c-bet. We've got a pretty dry board, queen 8-5. Not too much can have hit this. So we'll go ahead and just, kind of make a standard c-bet, 2/3 pot-ish, and hopefully take it down. But, we do have some equity against some of his draws. There are a few worse hands that he can call with. That ace is just such a great card on the turn. I'm going to have to go ahead and bet it. Unfortunately, this guy is short. It's kind of a weird spot if he calls, but I can't just check an ace on the turn when I fired the flop. Can't bring myself to do it, and it worked out, so that's good. Queens with the king high flop. That's not really ideal. So let's see. There's plenty of worse hands that call. We do have some backdoor draws, so I'm gonna go ahead and bet. I expect to get called by a king, a 10. 7, some diamonds, some things like that. And then the diamond on the turn, it could be a decent card to barrel, but it's also going to get a lot of checks out of his king. So let's go ahead and check, see if we can get a free card, maybe hit a diamond, play pot control. If he bets here, I think we... it'll depend on his sizing. If he bets really big, I think we have to fold. He bets pretty small, actually, so we've got... really diamonds, or if he's bluffing the turn for some reason, we're ahead of those. So I'm going to go ahead and call. We are out of position, which is annoying. King's an interesting card. I wouldn't be surprised to see a check down here a lot. If he bets out, we can probably fold, but I think he checks back all his worst hands most of the time. And he did have the 10. He decided to, I guess bluff the turn, because I was thinking about folding queens. I guess that means he was trying to get better hands to fold, since I had queens and I thought about folding. So he turned his 10, I guess, into a bluff, and then just checked it down. So yeah, overall I like our. I like how I played that. Obviously, having it work out is good. Here with our 9s, kind of a similar situation. We've got, the under pair. I'm trying to think about what worse hands can call. I guess we can get a call from an 8 and a call from spades. Those are the worst hands. And the problem is this guy is short, so I'm not sure this was a great idea. Now if he has spades, he's probably going to jam the turn, which is ugly. I don't really like this, but I'm going to go ahead and fold here. Playing against this guy when he's short was maybe a mistake. I'm not sure how I could have played this too much differently. I'm going to mark this hand because it's sort of interesting. I've got 9s, I've got a strong hand, but I don't know if I just check fold the flop. I don't know if I check call, bet, and then give up. I'm really not sure what the best way to play that is, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that hand and review it later. Just because I think it's kind of interesting. And then here, I'm against another deep stack. I've got, a great hand. I've got the flush draw with an overcard, nut flush draw and overcard, so pretty much never folding. And, bet out, take it down, that works. So.
All right, you rounder, I appreciate you having me on the show tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in, but I think I'm going to cut out. Sorry for being late and sorry for leaving early. Yeah, it's a bad guest. But thanks again, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
All right, go show off your new car.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
All right, take it easy.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, let me grab that turn off shark. All right, So Shark's out for the night. I'll go for a couple more rounds if you guys want, and then we'll cut the show out. But I think it's been good. Let me I'll refresh here. So we've had a pretty awesome financially, a pretty good session so far. It's let's see, I'm up like $6, and I don't like talking about EV, but we did get sucked out on pretty bad on one hand. So we do have more than that in equity, and our win rate's about like 30 big bets per 100 hands, which is obviously more than we can expect like at any kind of constant rate. So here we're queen 9 suited, and I guess we're in middle position, so not quite an open, but I'm kind of being more aggressive with my opens than usual. So I just like to check. We'll isolate with the ace-10 offsuit, and I'll let these blinds go through, and then I'll do one more round, and we'll call it a show, and we'll do the giveaway. So if anybody left hasn't entered, then I recommend doing that. So definitely check it out. And again, all you guys have to do to enter is make a comment on my Facebook page, and then just be pretty much subscribed to my YouTube and this and following on this Twitch page. So go ahead and enter, and then I'll pull up a random number generator, and we'll pick somebody. So maybe next time, I don't know. I'm not sure how to best do these giveaways, but this doesn't appear to be the best way. So I'll do some research on it before the next show and maybe figure out what's going on. So here we got a pretty passive player on the right-hand table. I'm going to go ahead and continuation bet. A lot of times I have the best hand here. He can call with overcards. He can call with hands that we have a lot of equity against. I don't really feel comfortable double barreling here, but I do think the flop, we can get some value here. I think he checks a fair amount on the turn. It's kind of interesting that he's betting out now. I'm not completely convinced that we're behind here yet. But we're out of position. If we have to face a bet on the river, it's going to be very difficult. He's loose. He's got a wide range, and we don't have a made hand yet. So let's go ahead and just give it up and not try to get into some sort of bloated pot with the fish, because that doesn't always work out that well. So I'm not sure how much of the title shows in my my thing. Maybe I need to put the giveaway stuff up front. Possibly. Ace-5 suited, we can definitely open that. And you'll notice that I open, as it gets closer to the button, I decrease the size of my opens. By decreasing them with position, it doesn't tell anybody about the strength of my hand. It is only correlating to my range, which people already know that as you get closer to the button, your range increases. So you're not giving away any information that people don't already have. And what it allows is, if this guy was deeper, maybe I could sometimes call this, but I don't know any information about this player, so I'm going to go ahead and fold. But the idea is that by betting smaller a lot, it allows you to call more 3-bets, and it allows you to get a better price when you're stealing. So I think it's a pretty solid strategy, and it's been working so far for me. But, let me go ahead and I'm going to sit out next big blind and sit out next big blind. And go ahead and raise here. Actually the sit and goes on Carbon don't run very frequently. They just they just don't. That's kind of the problem with. I would play sit and goes. My plan was to play sit and goes and grind up till I could play like micro stakes cash. But also part of it is just sticking to one thing for instructional purposes. So just trying to kind of show people, the same game over and over. I think checking back is actually all right on this board sometimes because there's so many things that there's a lot of bad turn cards, but I think I can bet fold the turn here pretty safely. And we do get the fold there, so that's good. So I'll go ahead and bet here, and once I get this out of the way, I'll pull in the random number generator and we'll do the drawing. But yeah, I'm not really doing playing 4NL to make money, so that's part of it. I'm doing this as like a bankroll building challenge essentially to kind of build up from from a smaller bankroll. So that's the main point of this. The main point of this isn't to make money. I would just start out at 25 or 50 NL if my goal was just to make money. Oops, I missed a C bet here. That was bad. Now this guy's betting out half pot, which I think we'll call. And we could stop and go this guy. That would be kind of rude to just check call and then bet the turn. Yeah, let's try a stop and go. It's the end of the show. I'm actually kind of tired, so it worked. That's cool. Not tired, but just worn out. So we'll go ahead and fold there, and then and do this. But yeah, the cash for sit and goes. I mean, I have played sit and goes. They're all right. Yes, you can make money, but I'm trying to do cash games right now. I'm sure maybe the next time I'll jump on a different site, or I'll do another challenge where I play sit and goes or something to do for fun. But this is 6 max cash games pretty much, and then I'm going to do some heads up cash as I move up in levels a little later on. So that's that, and we've got about one more hand to play. We're going to fold that, and let me close this. I've got one more hand on this table. I've got 3s, and then I'll be sitting out here. And like I said, we had a good session. We up $5 now. It looks like I lost a small hand on a table off screen, so that happens. But you guys can see at the bottom kind of the stats I played. I ended up playing a little bit looser, which is good. I mean, on the show, I usually play tighter than average. But you can see that, we got 500 hands in, which is a good session. That's a good size session. Maybe I'll do a review on this after. I'm going to turn off the camera after I do pull up the other stuff. But let's see here. We've got, looks like it's going to be a coin toss for the winner. So let me go ahead and pull. Oops. Let me sit down there. So let me pull this up. So this is my Facebook page here. You guys can see that, and I've got some admin stuff up here. But bam, here's the page. We've got a couple people that entered. Let me refresh just to make sure it's good. And yeah, we've got 2. All right, so it's going to be a coin toss. So let me, also this is my website, rounderuniversity.com, or no, sorry, unexceptionalrounder.com. It just says Rounder University because I like that. I think it sounds cool. And you guys can come in here. I'd like to get some more action going on the forum, so feel free to jump in here. And I posted a hand in 6 max cash games. Get some discussion going there. Random number generator. Let me just double check, make sure no one else is entering last minute entries. Okay, no more bets, no more bets. And you guys said iPhone cases and poker books. So yeah, maybe next time I'll do a poker book or something. So we've got 1 or 2. You guys ready for it? We're going to randomly generate a number. It's going to be the first comment and the second comment, and it is number 2. So that is going to be... Who is number 2? Rocky Dobson. All right, congratulations, Rocky. You got yourself a phone case. It's going to look like this right here. Bottom lights up. Bam, it charges your iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S. Rello, sorry, man. Wish, you know, maybe next time. I have a feeling you'll get something at some point. This is what it is. Mophie Juice Pack Plus. So congratulations on that, and you guys stay tuned next week. I may start doing like a you know, like a giveaway every week. I don't know if I can afford it. It's kind of expensive to give something away every show, especially when I'm not not rolling in the profits from either 4NL or any of my other stuff. So I don't know why this isn't maximizing, but yeah. So anyway, congratulations. Just hit me up on Facebook, shoot me a message, and I'll get your shipping info and I can send it to you. So thanks guys for tuning in. This has been Unexceptional Rounder on Squeeze Play, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you can check it out next week. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/unexceptionalrounder, and my website, unexceptionalrounder.com. Until next time, you guys keep on grinding, and again, let me know what suggestions you have or what type of stuff you want to see. All right, take it easy.